Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of the Spicy Homemaker podcast. My name's Melissa, and you can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, and Periscope as Spicy Homemaker. Today is Saturday, November 7th, and I just want to say hello and thank you to anyone who is brand new to the show. Thank you for checking me out. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. Well, I just got to tell you, I finally got that badge punched that every podcaster seems to have at one time or another. And that is, I just recorded this whole episode with my microphone off. It was bound to happen, right? So 5 episodes and yeah, finally did it. So we are on now. We have sound. I'm going to go through this again. And this is going to be a shorter episode than the previous rambling one of episode 4. We're going to try to keep this a little more condensed and get through what we need to get through and spend some time on what we need to spend time. But with that, I just wanted to say thank you to Jilly from the Knitting Broomstick podcast for the shout out. I am so glad we connected, Jilly. I am so excited about your spinning, and if you have not checked out her podcast, you should. It's really good. I like it. She has a lot of projects. The video quality is good. She's well spoken. I'm just really enjoying it, and she has, I think, about 12 episodes right now. And I want to say thank you to every single person, every viewer who takes time to leave a message on YouTube, who sends me a message on Ravelry, who comes and joins the Spicy Homemaker podcast group on Ravelry and introduces themselves. Thank you so much. I read every single message and I respond to every single person. If there's ever somebody I don't respond to, I assure you that is a complete accident. And if you message me again, I promise you I would respond immediately. But yeah, with that, I want to talk about, oh, and by the way, the show notes are on the Spicy Homemaker podcast Ravelry group. But with that, we have reached over 300 subscribers for this podcast. And I have a giveaway called the I'm So Grateful and Thankful giveaway. And that is just me celebrating you and saying thank you. There's a prompt in the group that you answer a question on if you went to Rhinebeck, was there something you wish you would have bought or saw? And if you've never been, same question. Is there anything you want to see or purchase? This closes out this giveaway this coming Thursday. I believe that's November 12th. And I will be closing the thread at noon Central Standard Time. So November 12th, this Thursday, noon, it closes out. We don't have a whole lot of people who post over there, which is good for a lot of people, I think. I'm going to give away 2 skeins of yarn that I'm going to show you right now. And I want the odds to be really good for people for this giveaway. So hopefully you'll win. Cross your fingers, right? But here's what I'm giving away. And I'm showing a bunch of yarn because you are going to have the option of picking a skein from what I'm showing you. Okay. A lot of people said they wish they could have some Jinx yarn. So 2 skeins of Jinx are up for grabs. I have her Jinx palette and her Christmas lights, both self-striping and different bases. Okay, so the Christmas lights, 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. Okay. The Jinx palette is 75% superwash BFL and 25% nylon. And these are, both fingering weight, sock weight yarn. So 2 Jinx yarns that you can choose from, along with some Wool and Vine yarns. There was people who said they wished they could knit with some Wool and Vine. That will be available should you choose to pick this. I have 1 skein of her Fang Banger Misfit in Volca. Her Volca base, which is 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And I thought this looked kind of Christmassy. This is, like I said, a misfit of her Fang Banger colorway. So I wanted to put this one out there for anybody who wanted it. Sweet Dreams in her Footsie base, which is 80% superwash BFL and 20% nylon. Sweet Dreams colorway. Wool and Vine yarns. And last but not least of the Woolen Vine yarns, this is on her Volca base, again, blue like Picasso. It's a one of a kind. It's 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. So here's what this one looks like. So that's these three. You have 3 Woolen Vines yarns you can choose from. And then I got hedgehog fibers. Some people said they would love to knit with hedgehog fibers. So I have, and there is intentionally a variety of colors here so that hopefully it will appeal to everybody's tastes. Typewriter and Budgie are the colorways. And they're both fingering weight, but I think they're 2 different bases if I remember. Yep. Okay, so the Budgie is BFL, 80% BFL, 10% nylon. Okay, there's that. And then Typewriter is very much more of a neutral. There's lots of gray. It's a soft gray with some black speckles throughout. And there's actually some dashes of this like kind of neon yellowish greenish color throughout. Very, very subtle here and there. So that's a little different, huh? And this is a 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon. And then Miss Babs. Everybody, lots of people said they wish they could get some Miss Babs yarn or they would go to Miss Babs' booth. So I am offering up, this is a Babette in her Yowza base, 4-ply light worsted yarn. This is Zombie Reunion. And I've seen quite a few projects on Ravelry knit in this colorway. They turn out really, really fun and interesting. And then also funny papers. I got both of these last year's Rhinebeck and they've just been sitting in stash. They're perfectly fine. They've been in a drawer, so they've been maintained very well. But this is Funny Papers Babette Yowza. Same exact base, and there's just a lot going on in here. Looks like the Funny Papers, the comic strips that you see in the newspaper, those kind of colors. And she's known for having more yardage than what she actually says is in here. And I believe she said there's 560, yep, 560 yards is in one of these skeins. And there's more than likely, there's more than that. Susan B. Anderson wrote 4 or 5 shawl patterns based on these skeins in particular. It's meant for one skein of Yowza yarn, and they're very popular. People love the shawl patterns. The yarn goes very well with it. So you may want to check those out if you choose to get either of these skeins. So once again, that's all the yarn for the I'm So Grateful, Thankful giveaway. I will be giving away 2 skeins of yarn. You get to choose from what I just showed you. And yeah, go ahead, go join the group, post in the thread. This week's it. So I am excited to see who wins. I will message the person who wins, get your address, and send that out immediately whenever I find out who it is. Okay, so we're gonna go into some knitting, and I'm gonna show you the only finished object I had, which is just one sock, but it's a sock, right? It's finally done, my Hermione's Everyday Sock. This is in Sandara yarn, and I'm very happy with it. It's perfect for me. The fit's great. I just blocked it out yesterday, and yeah, no complaints. 1x1 ribbing at the top. I knit this with 2.75 millimeter needles. I did it from cuff down. There's some mistakes in the textures a little bit, but you can't tell because of how it's textured. So I was really happy with this pattern. I can't wait to knit the other sock and have a full set. And free pattern on Ravelry. Tons of notes out there. Pretty simple and straightforward to follow. I would recommend this pattern for sure. That is it for FOs. I do have some works in progress or whips, and I'm not going to show you. Okay, so the Featherweight Cardigan by Hannah Fettig, I'm still working on that. The collar is almost done, but it's not going to look any different than the previous episodes where I showed you that cardigan. So the next time you see that, it will just be finished. So I'm not going to show you that. But I did start 2 other projects. The first one, which should be no shock to you guys, the sock blanket or the cozy memories or whatever you want to call it. I have jumped on the bandwagon and I am gonna do it. So this is knit my first square with, this was from my very first pair of socks I knit. This is in the Blue Ridge Yarns Footprints in Navajo Sunset colorway. And I am using, there are tons of different ways to do this, tons of patterns. There's so much out there that it gets a little overwhelming. So Jilly from the Knitting Broomstick podcast gave me some tips, and she has some outstanding notes on her project page for her sock blanket. So if you're wanting a good place to start, I would highly recommend going to Jilly's project page. Like I said, she's from the Knitting Broomstick podcast, and she's vegan Jilly. I think that's what she is on Ravelry. I know that's what she is on Instagram. I'm almost certain that's what she is on Ravelry as well. If that's not it, just go to her Ravelry group, the Knitting Broomstick podcast group, and you'll be able to find her there. But she recommended the Zoe Knit Girls version pattern, and that is what I'm using, and it's great. It's fantastic. No issues. I'm using US size 4 needles. I'm casting on 39 stitches. So far, so good. Okay, there's that. And if anyone wants to know what this project bag is, it's not by an Etsy seller or anything like that. I got it at my first Squam. A girl came in our cabin and one of her friends made some bags for it she was trying to sell. And what's kind of cool is the inside is fabric that's used, leftover fabric from a yarn factory. So it's silk. This is tie fabric in the inside, which is really nice. And yeah, just a fun little bag. I like it, colorful. Happy bag. Okay, the next project. Let's see, this is it for my works in progress. One more. I'm really excited about this for a couple reasons. One, I've been wanting to knit another shawl, so I found a pattern that I like. And it is Loop by Casa Pinka. It's a paid for pattern on Ravelry. And I've got just very little, but I'm knitting it in Tosh Merino Light and the mica colorway. It's like an icy blue. And then this I talked about in the last episode. It's by Zia Wools, which is on Etsy in her Fire and Ice colorway. And I know this has stellina in it. I did not, unfortunately, bring the tag along with me, so I don't know exactly which base this is. But I'll have it on my projects page on Ravelry. Here is her card, and I will post her in the show notes. But I saw her post this. She's Paper Dag on Instagram, and I believe she's Paper Dag on Ravelry as well. I saw the Fire and Ice colorway posted on Instagram, and I loved it. So I reached out to her and said, let me know when you're putting it in the shop. She and I talked. I bought not only a skein of this yarn, but some minis. So what I'm doing with this particular skein is, like I said, the Loop Shawl pattern. So what it is typically people kind of pick a neutral background to showcase their variegated yarn. It does this little loop pattern throughout, and you probably can't see it too well right now because there's so little right here. I've only, I don't know, 12 rows into it maybe. You'll be able to see more next podcast because I'm knitting on this like crazy. I love it. But I think this is going to be great for winter. This is like the perfect winter autumn kind of shawl pattern. I mean, I've got the icy blue for kind of a wintry feel, and then this just beautiful burst of color. So it keeps it interesting and fun. But I ordered 2 minis from her, two packages of mini skeins, which I'm going to show you. But she also generously donated some minis and a skein of yarn for a giveaway. So let me show you what I got here. I have Sugarloaf, that's her base, the Sugarloaf base in 100% superwash merino 2-ply. And these are these all have different colors. And I'm not going to open them, but there's 5 mini skeins in here. And I bought these. One, I'm going to knit them in my blanket for sure, some of these. 2, I want to give a box away for a swap right now. I'm starting to do swaps, and right now this is really easy for me to use for swaps. I'm going to use my own stuff in my own stash for sure. I want to make up my own mini skeins, but right now I'm really drawn to these little minis that are already made up that I can just kind of put in the mail and say, here. Not only can you really try a new yarn from an indie dyer, but you can, try out a variety of the colors, see if you really like it. I think it's a great way to really see what an indie dyer has to offer, because sometimes one skein just isn't enough. You need a little bit more. So this is, the other one that's different is her Taos, T-A-O-S base. It's a rustic fingering sock weight and 75% superwash Corriedale and 25% nylon and 3-ply. I think that's really cool. The colors in this are really fun. I really like it. All her colors are great. They're kind of jewel tone. Some of them are kind of like, remind me of the desert. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. So I think one of those boxes is going to be a giveaway for sure. The other thing that is definitely going to be a giveaway is this skein of Fire and Ice that she donated. This is in her Sandia base. And, oh no, did I say, nope, I'm sorry, Sugarloaf. Sugarloaf. Oh, no. You know what? I'm getting this all messed up. This mini skein is in her Sugarloaf base in the Angel Fire color. That's what this is. This is in her Sandia base, the big skein, in 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it's 4-ply. I mean, that's great. 4-ply yarn fingering weight. That's great. That's some sturdy stuff. So look at all those beautiful, gorgeous colors. Check out her Etsy shop if you want to see some better pictures than what you may be seeing right now. This will be a giveaway within the next 30 days. I'm not quite sure what the giveaway, what I'm going to base it on, or how I'm going to do it, but it's definitely coming up. And I believe one box of minis will also be given away. So stay tuned. Join the Spicy Homemaker podcast group on Ravelry so you can find out more. And I'll be talking about this some more in the next episode. She also knows that I'm a new spinner, and she spins some beautiful things. Oh my goodness. So she gave me some samples of some fiber, and I'm so excited. Let's see. There's listen to me. God, not just. This, I don't even know what you call these. I don't know all the terminology yet for fiber, but I have, right here is some alpaca mohair that feels so good. And this is some Rambouillet alpaca. And I believe this is the same. Yep, both of these are the same. So these are fun. These are gonna be fun to spin. I can't wait to. I think I'm gonna spin these up really soon here. And then I got a braid of fiber that's just a bunch of beautiful blues and purples and greens. That's just beautiful. It's Rambouillet. So that's gonna be fun. And then she gave me some of her hand spun yarn, which now that I, very, very just scratching the surface of spinning, I appreciate this a lot now. I mean, this is some work. This is some work. And that somebody would want to give me their hand spun blows my mind, because wow. I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but they're mine and I'm doing something with it. And it's alpaca, and this is alpaca, and this is Rambouillet. So, yay. Love it. Thank you so much, Dag. This is beautiful. This is gorgeous. I cannot wait to share this with you guys. I think one of the cool things about podcasting is that, and just being a knitter in general, is indie dyers. When we find someone we like, we need to share that with people. We need to tell people. I mean, that's how most of the indie dyers get business, is by word of mouth. And just to be very clear, I sought her out, not the other way around. And I was impressed with what I saw. And now that I am knitting with it as well, I love it. I love it. It's beautiful. I will let you know as I continue to knit what I think. But right now, 2 thumbs up. It's beautiful. It's great. Love it. And I will be giving some Zia Wools yarn away very soon. Okay, so we're done with works in progress, in case you didn't realize that. I want to talk very briefly about the Knit My Mitts knit-along that I'm hosting for my one and only pattern, the fingerless mitts pattern. It's called the Good Time Mitts. This is going to go through January 15th to give people an option to knit after the holidays if they want to wait until that point. There's a charity option. So if you choose, you can knit these for anybody you want. You can knit them for yourself. You can knit them as a gift. You just need to post a picture in the final photo thread, the photo thread for final finished projects to be eligible for a prize. This is a totally separate group from the Spicy Homemaker podcast group. It's just called Knit My Mitts Knit Along. It's its own separate group. If you search for it in Ravelry, you'll find it. I also will post a link to it in my Spicy Homemaker podcast group. But if you choose to do the charity option, which is you knit a pair of mitts and you send them to me, I will distribute them out to homeless people in St. Louis through our local church. One of the things they do a lot in the wintertime is give out socks and mittens and hats and things to keep people warm. And I think this would be great to do that. And I will send those out. And if you choose to do that, you'll be entered in 2 times into the drawing. So you'll have double the odds of winning. So there's that. All the rules are in the group. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. But yeah, Knit My Mitts Knit Along. It's going through January 15th. And in an effort to keep this short, I'm going to wrap it up with a couple odds and ends. And yeah, spinning real quick. A little bit of spinning. I've been doing Jenny's from the Tiny Paper Foxes podcast. She has a challenge of sew for 20. She's been sewing 20 minutes every night for 2 weeks. I did spinning instead, and I didn't do it for every night. And I knew that there was a good possibility of that, but I did it for several nights, and I'm really enjoying it. I just like keeping that in the forefront, making that something to do. The only way you improve is by practice. And my spinning was really improving every night, except for the last night I just spun, which is this particular one that you're seeing here. This is BFL Into the World, and the color is God's Wood. Now, my spinning was improving every night. It was getting very consistent. It was looking great. I was very pleased with it. And then I just kind of had a bad night, I guess. I don't know what was going on, but the consistency wasn't great. It was more thick and thin, and it's okay, but compared to my last few nights, this was just kind of felt like a setback, but it's still colorful yarn, so I'm not completely downtrodden about it. There's that, though. I wanted to share that. That challenge ends this weekend. And, okay, Periscope. I mentioned about that on my last podcast. I'm kind of on the fence about Periscope. I see the allure. I see that it's fun, it's new, I get that. But it's only up for 24 hours. So I am totally on the fence about this. But I had mentioned that I might be trying to do an interactive session of spinning or plying, or perhaps both, with you guys. New spinners could come on, see what I'm doing, and then also the experienced spinners can, give me some instant feedback on, hey, maybe you should try this, or, you're really not doing that right. I think it would be great for new and seasoned spinners alike, and that we could just totally learn from each other. I think it'd be a great experience, but I need to know if anyone's interested in doing that. So just post your thoughts in the show note threads, and let me know what you think. We'll play that by ear. No pressure. If we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. The other thing, the paper airplane contest. Okay, so I wanted to talk about that. If you saw my last show, you know that my son Ashton made a paper airplane for me, because at work for charity, they were doing a paper airplane contest. And they had 2 categories, the ones that looked the best and the ones that flew the furthest. Now, come to find out, I needed a separate airplane for the one that looked the best. So we just went with flew the furthest, because that's what he did his research on. He did decorate it, but we were trying to get the furthest. And I work at a building with aeronautical engineers and pilots, and the odds were stacked against us, but we weren't the worst. We didn't win. We did not win, but we weren't the worst, but it was fun. And I told everybody I was proud to show my plane and say, my son Ashton made this, and a lot of the guys thought that was pretty cool. So it was fun. And I believe that is it. So it's a short one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I am so glad you chose to come back and spend some time with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.